Okay, no, we're... Welcome back to Creating Cooperative Kids. I'm your host, Bill Corbett. According to the U.S. Census, family households maintained by a female householder with no spouse present numbered 15.3 million in 2010. That number reveals a huge absence, at least physically, day to day, of fathers from the homes. So what are some of the impacts of an absent father when it comes to the development of little girls and then their lives as adult women? My guests are going to help me understand this dilemma. Left to right is Kian Jacobs, a licensed clinical social worker in private practice who works closely with both children and adults. She holds a master's in clinical social work from Smith College in Northampton, Massachusetts. Betel Arnold is a parent and an author and a speaker on issues affecting female teens and young adults. Patel experienced firsthand the problem of having an absent father and has agreed to come on the show to discuss this issue. Welcome to the show, ladies.
Thank you. Thank you for having us here.
This is a very serious issue, and sometimes we don't really focus on it. So what I want to do is I want to talk about it. First of all, I want to hear about your experience because it's going to be very key to that. But first, Kian, from a professional perspective, what kind of impacts are you aware of professionally about, first of all, in childhood, the impacts of an absent father? And that can be he's in the house, but he has no role, or either that or domestic abuse is an issue which makes him absent, or he's just not there.
I think with children who are living in a damaged environment, they're going to find ways to cope. And those are defense mechanisms to defend themselves against the harsh environment. And they might be survival skills, and they might include drugs or alcohol. It does put them at risk for drugs and alcohol, and without a parent paying attention, there are all kinds of directions a kid can run to. But as an adult, I often will work with adults who have had a trauma in early childhood, and I have found that their emotions and adults' emotions can be absolutely stuck in the way they react to things every day in everyday life, but the emotions are stuck at the age of 7, 8, 9, 10. And I find that common.
So, Patel, tell us a little bit about your experience that you're willing to share with us about, because you were a little girl with an absent father, right? And tell us a little bit about your situation.
Well, the first memory actually that I have of my father, it's not even really a memory where my father is present, but it's very vivid to me because I remember there was a field and I remember running very, very, very fast, and I couldn't wait to get home to tell my mother the news. And the news was, Mom, I found my dad. I know where my dad's been. And she looked at me like, what do you mean you found your dad? Because my mother and my father, when they separated, my father came to the United States. We were in the Dominican Republic. So my father wasn't even there. And I don't remember why I thought that I was looking for my father, but I was, because that day when I ran home to tell my mother, I found my father, and it's my math teacher. So it was like, I mean, I remember that, but I don't know how I came to think like that I just ran home to tell my mother I found my dad.
So, Kian, if I could ask you, does that mean, and correct me if I'm wrong, does that mean that that she may have been searching for her dad? If they don't have a dad present, they're going to be looking for that dad somewhere?
They're going to, a female could easily be looking for the replacement. And if the parent is single, and I was a single parent, so you try to engage help, whether it be a cousin or an uncle or family friend or somebody who can that you can kind of plug in that male role that you're sure can help your kids. It can be a coach, and my kids did a lot of running and chasing of balls and team sports. So the coaching is awesome, but I know it's hard for kids from single parents when they're on teams or they're in school. It's sometimes life looks like a Hallmark card where everybody else has two parents, and they can feel a little lost at times also.
So how were things with you with the whole separation, divorce?
I really don't remember it. But I do remember my first actual, when I actually met my father, because he came to the United States when I was, I would say, 2 years old. Now that I know that information, I have that information. But when I first met him, when he came to visit us, you know, he said to me, I'll give you $1 if you memorize the song, and it was about God. And I wanted to please him so much because now I finally get to meet my father that I, you know, I memorized the, you know, the song. But with my father, for me, it was like I was always searching. I was always searching for a father. When I came, finally, when I came to the United States, because my father was in the United States and my mother was in the Dominican Republic, I came to live with my father, who was recently married and just had a brand new baby. So I came into a situation where, with my sister, where I didn't know the language. I'm here with my dad and his new wife and their brand new child. So I felt completely like, I do not fit in this picture. You know, this is, I just felt like I didn't belong. I felt like an outsider. I felt like, you know, my father was also a Jehovah's Witness, so I just felt like I was not good enough. You know, I was not good enough. And my desire to always want to have that father was not realized when I finally did get to live with him for a while.
Comments on that?
I think this is an awesome woman. We met earlier, and she's a strong woman. And that's how we want our little girls to grow up to be, is to be strong, independent women. But what a dangerous place to have little girls trying to please, little girls performing, little girls, you know, so easily influenced because they just want to be noticed and loved. And it's a dangerous spot for little girls to be in.
At the risk of oversimplifying it, is it safe to say that when Dad is present and he is engaged and he's probably not even talking a lot, but he's there in that moment often with his little girl, that she feels that he notices her, she's recognized, and it kind of, does it add, without stepping into the psychological realm, does it add to, I'm okay, I'm full, I'm complete, when he's there and he's paying attention?
No, I think as a parent, whether you be the mother or the father or embodied both as one person, you need to be present, and you need to to mirror, you know, your child, and to model and to give feedback, and there needs to be a reciprocal loop
so
that kid feels. You can't just be sitting in the armchair watching TV. That's not going to cut it.
All right. So now that you're a grown-up and you've healed well, and you're we know each other personally. We know what a great person you are. What about in adulthood? What does it do in adulthood? What could it do? Is it just that you said before that she's constantly going to be searching for somebody to notice me and living almost through other people to make up for what she didn't have? It
could set up a series of relationships, you know, where I love you, I love you, I love you. Oh, that relationship ended, and within a day or two you're on to the next one and on to the next one, because you keep trying to fill that sadness that you felt when you were young. And people often are trying to fix what happened when they were young, or reacting to what happened when they were young.
And of course, if that's the case, therapy is a welcome step.
Therapy is a good step. Talk therapy is a good step. But I've recently been doing a treatment called EMDR.
Yeah.
And I am able to repair people who have had racing thoughts and angry feelings or upset feelings that they've carried for 10, 15, 20 years. And in a couple of sessions, we're kind of minimizing the effect so that their experiences will always be there, but not like luggage, not like baggage. You kind of leave it behind and move forward.
What happened with your father-daughter dance at your wedding? How did that go?
Well, my father never went to my wedding. You know, it's very true what you said about relationships and how not having a father really affects the choices that you make. And I made some very poor choices. It was a long road to healing because, like she said, I was trying to find that love. I was trying to find that validation from a male to say, I really love you. And of course you expect so much because it's such a void. But at my weddings, thank God that I'm married now. You know, my husband and I have been married for 15 years. But my father never came to the wedding. And to be honest with you, I don't even know if I invited him. But that goes to show the, you know, our relationship.
The disconnect.
Yeah. I mean, just not even feeling that if I invited him, he would even come.
That was a big step for you to come on and tell us about that, because I think a lot of girls watching this, mothers watching this, will learn from this, and I really appreciate the two of you coming in to talk about it. We could actually spend a lot of time on the issue, but I hope people will pick up on this, and moms and girls, and know that they can heal, and they can go on. According to the American Psychological Association, the modern-day father can contribute to his children's health and well-being by maintaining a healthy relationship with the other parent, even in cases of divorce, providing emotional and financial support, appropriate monitoring and discipline, and most importantly, by remaining a permanent and loving presence in their lives. Now, coming up in my next segment, I'll be addressing viewers' parenting questions and asking my panel of guests to help me answer them. Don't touch that remote. We'll be right back after the short break.